Hello and welcome to this episode of Focus On with me, Kiamogetse Mosepele. Orange Middle Eastern Africa as well as Mastercard have come together to enhance digital payments and financial inclusion in Francophone Sub-Saharan Africa. This initiative, which spans 7 countries, will see over 40 million Orange Money wallet holders accessing virtual and physical debit cards linked to their wallets by the year 2025. Joining me for more on this discussion is Amnah Ajmal, Executive Vice President, Market Development for Mastercard, as well as Aminata, Kane, CEO of Orange Money Group, Middle East and Africa. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me and welcome to the show. I'm going to shoot straight ahead into Mastercard, just considering your global network that you offer. Just give us a brief overview of this partnership. How did it come about, and more importantly, why?
Thank you so much. So if you look at Mastercard's mission of doing well by doing good, our commitment about financial inclusion to include 1 billion people into the digital economy. And then you look at Orange's value and statement and the mission to enable a responsible digital world and connect people in Africa. Our purpose, our mission brings us together. But more importantly, if you look in the continent of Africa, mobile networks have played a very important role in connecting people to the financial services because of the lack of the infrastructure. There are almost 780 million mobile money accounts and only 450 bank accounts in the continent of Africa. So driving a financial inclusion by giving people access to virtual cards attached to their mobile money wallet, as well as enabling acceptance of those cards, opens up the entire digital economy for them. And we can leverage our acceptance network so the payment products that they are having are used across the world.
Mm-hmm. And just carrying on your point about opening up the digital economy, I want to speak to you, Aminata. I mean, in your position as the CEO of Orange Money Group for Middle Eastern Africa, what are some of the merit behind this for the Orange Money wallet holders as they're now gaining more access and more financial inclusion?
We've come a long way on the continent when it comes to financial inclusion. We've had before banks, but they were not covering a lot of people on the continent. So you have a banking rate that was less than 20%. But most people now have cell phones and they have a lot of mobile money accounts. We have more than 100 million mobile money accounts on the continent. But most of the use cases and the services were local. So people were able to send locally, to pay locally. Today, with this partnership, our customers will be able to pay anywhere in the world. And this is fantastic because we are bringing international shopping or international trade to our mobile money holders, but also we are allowing them whenever they travel abroad to be able to pay with Mastercard, which is accepted everywhere in the world. So it's a massive, massive innovation for our customers. And it's also a very good way of improving the lives of people who are trying every day to earn their living, to buy something from abroad or to travel and be able to make their payments. So it's really the next level when it comes to payment innovations, and we're very proud to partner with Mastercard in that.
I mean, I can see the benefit behind interconnectedness, especially from an African perspective and that exchange or ability to move money across the continent. But I also want to circle back to Mastercard. I mean, how does this how does it fit into your broader strategy in terms of increasing that access and widening the possibilities or opportunities for Orange Money wallet holders?
I'm extremely proud of the partnership with Orange because if you look at Orange's footprint, we're talking about 100 million consumers across 17 countries, right? So the distribution footprint that they have, the data that they have, the solution that they have on the mobile money front is extremely simple and intuitive. There's not much of a behavior change required from the consumer to open up this world of digital financial services to them. So there are 2 things that happen over here. One is the acceptance side enablement, which enables the merchants and the SMEs, because once they start accepting the payments through virtual or physical cards, which are attached to the mobile money wallets, All these transactions are then recorded. There's data behind this, and they get access to more credit and micro lending, which also Orange is leading. So you're actually growing the SME business, which is the backbone of any economy. Then there's a consumer side of it, because in a closed loop environment, currently you can only do transactions as P2P payments or cash in and cash out at the agent network. But once your card is accepted worldwide, you can put it for subscription services. You can actually get access to e-commerce worldwide. And then more importantly, once again, because now you are transacting on this payment instrument, as a consumer also, access to credit and other financial services become extremely easy for you.
So essentially spanning not just in terms of the physical transaction, but also more access to credit and essentially ensuring more Africans have more opportunities to build upon the businesses that they've established. I just want to circle back in terms of how this will happen in real time, and that's where you'll come in, Aminata. I understand that your company has already operated as a mobile money system, but I want to know the types of debit cards that these Orange Money wallet holders will have access to, and as well as some of the countries where this will be rolled out.
So the partnership we're doing with Mastercard is for 7 countries. So you have Senegal, Cameroon, Mali, Sierra Leone, Central African Republic, Liberia. So it's a very comprehensive project. And what we're very interested in is how easy it can be for customers. So they will have a virtual card linked to their wallet. So every time they want to make a payment, they go on their app, and then the virtual card will be there once it's attached, and they can make their payment seamlessly. We see a lot of virtual cards around the world that are circulating, but this one, most of them are linked to bank accounts. This time they will be linked to mobile money accounts. They will have the same limits that generally the cards have with banks, and also the ones that are allowed by the central banks in the countries we're operating in, which is very important to mention. And it will be as easy as it is.
And you've mentioned that they would access it through an app, and I think this initiative almost tackles 2 problems at once, which is increasing, digital transformation in the continent, but as well increasing the access to financial services. I just want you to touch on how much or what significance have you seen in terms of the use of alternative payments like this and it contributing to increasing economic growth in the respective countries?
Interestingly, we cannot say that these are alternative payments. They are the main payment ways, right? So in most of our geographies, if you look at our countries where we're present, and in most of the continent actually, you will see that people use cash to pay. The alternative is not necessarily a card, but it's mostly mobile money. And we've seen a drastic improvement of the mobile money penetration in the past years because people find it safer, find it more reliable, and find it also easy to use. May you be literate or illiterate. And this is something we've really worked on. Initially, it was mostly USSD based. You would do a short code and you'll be able to transfer or to pay. But now more and more African customers are switching to smartphones and are using apps, are using WhatsApp. So they know how to use easily the internet, and now I'm using their apps to pay. So our app is called Maxit, and you can use it for all of your Orange needs, but specifically for Orange Money needs. And it's going to be even more and more important to add this virtual card on top of the services that we already have. So we've already are the next best alternative to cash. And in the coming years, our target is to become the #1 even before cash.
And Amna, as Aminata has mentioned, the push across the globe for a cashless or digital money environment. I understand from your global network, you have access to the data and a lot of the insights that would inform this. I want you to just come back to us in terms of that overhead approach. What are the key forces, in your opinion, that are shaping payments in Africa or the future of payments? And what would you say, how has the payments landscape evolved in Africa over the past few years?
Thank you. So I would say, first, if we just look at the start, 70% of the total world's mobile money value, which is $1 trillion, comes from Africa. So you can easily understand that this is actually the way to make a payment. So Africa in that way is very similar to China. It has leapfrogged cards. Mobile money is the most natural, the basic way to use payments. So I think advances in opening up the closed loop mobile money network to open loop is one of the key factors in driving digitization and the future of payments and connectivity in Africa. The second one I would say is the real-time payments because of the instant payments that mobile money are driving, the infrastructure that needs to be developed on instant real-time payments, that would definitely drive a much faster adoption, especially among multiple countries, not within the same country. The third I would say is the interoperability. So wallet-to-wallet payments between different telecom, wallet to bank, bank to wallet. This would also help the SMEs, which are actually working within Africa, multiple markets, to unlock that. So that interoperability would be key, which we already see it happening in some way or form. The third one would be digital wallets are increasingly being used, but how you evolve a digital wallet use cases. So what I mean is, for example, today, if you're only using a digital wallet for P2P payments or utility payments, tomorrow, you also integrate remittances into it, your insurances, your other lifestyle enablement services. Maybe you're watching a movie and you have to pay for the subscription service. So all that ecosystem getting together in one digital wallet would actually enable the consumers' payments getting into the ecosystem in a more digital way. And that would really fasten the growth of digitization in Africa. And the last one I would say is micro-lending and buy now, pay later. The more you digitize payments, the more you expand the acceptance, you are opening doors for micro-lending, nano-lending, buy now, pay later institutions, because now all of this data is coming in, and this data can be used through open API marketplaces with different institutions, even if you do not want to take that risk on your balance sheet. There are several players and fintechs who are entering into lending, and this data then can be used. And telcos are in a very, very powerful position when it comes to data. They know where you are, they know what you're spending, they have your geolocation. They will now have the spend data across the world because it's going to be an open loop card. If you're an SME, they know your trade flows, they know the payments that you're making. So with all of that, I think the micro lending would also accelerate, and more access to credit would become available. So those are the 3-4 trends I would say.
I can certainly agree. Changing the face of African business is something that certainly interests me. But ladies, that's where we have to wrap up this conversation. Thank you so much for joining me. That was Amnah Ajmal, Executive Vice President for Market Development at Mastercard, and Aminata Kane, CEO of Orange Money Group Middle East and Africa. From me, and the CNBC Africa team, it's goodbye for now.